Good morning, everyone. I'm Jen Houston, owner of the Artsy Fartsy Gallery. I'm a full-time independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canmore, Alberta, Canada. Welcome, happy Monday. It's going to be our Facebook Live here today. Um, just to start off, I'm going to be switching some things up. Change is apparently good. I don't know, I've been thinking about things for a little bit here and how I want to make sure I'm getting back to my purpose for why I started this whole thing. But before I get on to that, when you pop on, say hello, tell me where you're from, if I haven't met you before, how was your weekend? Tell me all about whatever you want to talk about. This is kind of definitely a safe place for us to chit chat with amongst each other and to kind of get ideas from each other. So say hello. I love when you say hello. Feel free to share with your friends too, all those crafty people or people that you think might need, this might brighten their day to see this video. And yeah, lots of comments, of course. Love chit-chatting. So going back to what I was saying, that, I wanted to kind of revert back to my kind of goal for starting Stampin' Up. And that was, there were two things: to bless others and to provide a safe place for women to get together and create friendships, and for the lonely people to kind of find friendships and create kind of strong, tight-knit bonds that, because everybody needs somebody out there. And so that, when I was going through my second depression, I have clinical depression. I've been diagnosed, and friendships are hard to continue on when you're going through depression or struggling with mental illness or just that kind of stuff. And so Stampin' Up! Kind of gave me an avenue to build friendships amongst women who a lot have similar issues. Creative types tend to be a little more, maybe, I don't mean this, any disrespect by this, but creative types tend to be a little more emotional. They are more in tune with their feelings. They tend to be quite sensitive. And so we're all kind of very similar beings, and we get each other. And so I wanted this for anybody kind of that was lonely or going through depression or struggling with things, or just to be that place, right? And so doing the whole week, Stampin' Up! Week of Greens, the last little bit, and connecting with you every single day was huge for me. I don't know if it was for you, but it was huge for me because it every morning I knew that I had a little purpose. Purpose is good. And I was going to get to connect with you and chit chat with my buddies and the people who get me, right? And so I love that. And so I want to get back to kind of doing that, as opposed to just, videos here and there, a Monday and a Wednesday. I kind of want to do it every day. Connect somehow every day. So that's going to be my goal, is to do something fun every day around a certain theme. So it's going to be kind of like Four Cards and Friends, where I took a certain item, and all week we're going to work on with that certain stamp set or that certain tool or item, and I'm going to show you multiple ways to use that set throughout the week. So this week, our feature is going to be let me get rid of this little thinger, Mountain Air Bundle. Now, I did an online class using this set, but I made so many cards because I absolutely loved it. I don't know if you know this, but when I make I design cards for an online class, I tend to make tons and tons, and only a certain few make the cut. But there were so many cool cards, it was hard to choose just for the online class. And if you were part of that online class, you will have seen all these tons and tons of cards that I showed as little ideas, right? And so some of you didn't get to see that because you didn't join the class. Still time if you want to, but I want to kind of still play around with this bundle. So that is what's going to happen this week. That's going to be our big feature. I also kind of like what I said before. Kind of what I said before. Stampin' Up! Gives me a reason to get up every day. When you have clinical depression, any little thing needs to give. You need a reason to get up every day. Because honest to Pete, it like when you're struggling with depression, a shower is the biggest feat ever. It can be. Now I've with help and medication and everything else, I have come a long way. But I need to continue to remind myself, why am I getting up every day? And so if you are struggling with purpose, same sort of things, I'm going to try and give you a purpose every single day, a reason why you're important, a reason why your gift is invaluable. You're here for a reason, right? And whether it's just a smile, sending somebody a smile every day, giving somebody a smile every day, those kinds of things are crucial for us. But giving also, when you give to somebody else, it blesses you immensely, but it also blesses the recipient, right? And so today, so purpose. So I try to look at alliteration for this, of course, be a teacher. So I'm thinking of things like make today meaningful Monday. Make it marvelous Monday. Make a difference Monday. So we're going to kind of, I'm going to focus on those things on Monday, how we can be a difference maker, how we can, make a project marvelous to give it away, being a difference maker. How am I going to make today kind of meaningful on Mondays, especially Monday? Monday's like tough, right? Monday's actually my favorite day of the week. It's back to the routine. It's back to getting to what I love. It's back to my purpose, right? The weekend kind of, you have to hang out with the husband, and you kind of, you have to clean. You got to get all those things out of the way that you kind of put off throughout the week, right? Monday is back to my happy place. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, so today. Here's going to be today, my lips are dry, is going to be Make It Marvelous Monday. And we're going to try to do that with using the Mountain Air bundle. Okay, so let's switch over to let me see, get all set up here. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Here we go. Okay, so here's our screen. The Mountain Air bundle. Give me some hearts if you have this Mountain Air bundle, and hopefully this will give you an idea on how to use it maybe. All right, so I'm going to have all these measurements and the items that I use today on my blog later today, kind of like I did with the Week of Greens kind of idea. But we're going to be using a Night of Navy card base, a little piece of Whisper White, and Seaside Spray. Now, I'm not sure if you knew, well, you should, if you likely know this, a stamp set I have. Yay! Awesome. And if I don't get back to you, I know lots of people have been rolling through with the comments. Thank you so much. I love that. And I will go back later and have a look at all of your comments and respond, okay? So if I miss you, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Just, trying to get through this. I want this to be quicker little videos as opposed to like one big long evening. We'll attempt that. All right, so these stamps are actually reversible, which is kind of cool. You know, you have the trees, but if you flip this stamp over, you get this kind of ooh look, right? So, I mean, that could be icicles, right? Or snow hanging off a roof, or reflection in the water. So, lots of different ideas there. The mountain one, flip it over there again. This is awesome for backgrounds. Love it. Um, the trees, flip it over. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't used these two background stamps, but I'm thinking, I don't know, you could probably make this maybe a different color just by placing the background stamp. I don't know, I'd have to think about that, how it would be used. I guess kind of shadows in the, yeah, I get it. Just haven't done it yet. And the little, you know, clouds and the moon, which can become the sun just by reversing it, which is kind of fun. And check out, oh my goodness, I didn't even clue into this one until right now. But look at the back of the birds is kind of like a little cloud bit. Funny. Okay. So here are my supplies, and I am going to first start off with the embossing buddy. We're gonna do some embossing here. I think it just helps make those mountains pop. I think I wanted to start with this item today because, of course, I'm in the mountains, and being in the mountains for me means health. It means fresh air. It means nature and rejuvenation and just kind of, I can do this. So what a perfect, when I saw this stamp set in the catalog, I'm like, okay, this one's for me, for sure. Okay, let's, I keep saying okay. I'm gonna actually use the, kind of the moon side, so the side that's got the bumps on it. Oh, I didn't get out my Versamark here. Excuse my arm. I'm going to ink it up with some Versamark. And here we go. I'm just going to place it kind of top right third. Oh, sheesh. Let's try that again. Wowzers, let me rip the paper. That's how sticky that ink is, right? You go to Spruce Woods, yes. Isn't it? It's just something about, I don't know, Clear Lake, or and it's different for everybody, right? Everybody has their, some people love the beach. I'm not a beach person at all. Beach to me means bathing suits, stress, shaving your leg. But some people absolutely love the beach, right? So everybody has their place or their thing. For a long time for me, it was New York. Crazy, the busy, the people, the just, it was so different from the way I lived in my little Brandon, Manitoba, that it was fascinating to me. And I mean, I went to New York for 17 times in the last 20 years, I guess. Okay, sorry, I'm talking too much, but here's our mountain scape here with the Versamark. I'm also going to ink this up, and just kind of the bottom third all the way across. Now these are photopolymer stamps, of course, so if you're finding they're not inking smoothly, then you may want to get a foam pad. I think it's called the piercing mat, I think. So yeah, I went to New York 17 times to feed the homeless in the summers, and well, not necessarily the summers, I went other times of the year too. Met the most incredible, resilient people I have ever met in my life. You want to talk about needing a purpose to get up every day? Wow, yeah, that was incredible. For their stories, that you meet these people, and yeah, that was an amazing time in my life. Okay, so we have got these mountains. I'm going to get out the heat tool and hopefully not spill anything else. Yowzers. All right, there we go. So, doesn't look like much yet, right? It's just kind of white on white, but it will change into something exciting. So I'm going to use my So Saffron and my Dauber. Daubers are kind of my favorite. And of course the cool thing is you can go, oh, I don't think I did that all here. Hang on. There, that's better. Got him. All right, so I'm just going to rub the So Saffron over top of that sun, I'm going to call it. Could be the moon. And just kind of rub circles around it. Of course, there again, as I always say, start out light. You can always add more color. You can't take color off. So, and just kind of rub around a little in little spots here. I'm going to go into the mountains a little. Like so. Okay. Then I'm going to take some Seaside Spray, one of my favorite colors. I love its gray tone. Oh, sheesh. I suppose if I bump my shirt with this Seaside Spray, it's not going to matter too much. It's kind of a similar color. Okay, there again. Just kind of going in between some of the areas with some hits of blue. Be mindful that yellow and blue make green. So if you don't want green in your sky, just go easy and kind of pay attention to where that yellow is. I'm also going to go kind of over top of these mountains a little, at the top anyways. A little bit darker. I think that looks good to me. So the purpose for these cards today, I have two people that I want to send these cards to. One person is in our condo. I was talking to her a little while back. And I've been thinking about her lots, but you get busy and life goes, right? But she has been having a rough time. One of her friends, okay, sorry, I'll do this, show you this, and then I will keep talking. This will be the flat side of those trees. I'm going to ink up with Night of Navy. She's just going through a rough time. She had to sell her business. One of her good friends is dying with cancer, and she's just having a hard time. Oh, my Lanta, I forgot the mountains. No worries, we'll figure it out. And so I really wanted to send her a card. We're not super close or anything, but I think it's just, I'm thinking of you, right? So I'm going over top just a little bit of those mountains, and that's okay. Okay, see how this little chunk, I should probably be using that foam mat. Now, it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of random. What I could do is take either my blender pen and kind of dip it in the Night of Navy ink, color it in. I could use some daubers and kind of use Night of Navy and fill that in as well. But you know what, I'm just going to be kind of lazy and going with So I don't want to get, I know that the stamp is going to go off of my paper, so I don't want that. So I'm just going to actually stick this foam mat underneath, and that way you kind of can protect your foam mat. But let's go over top here, and let's see what we can do here. There, kind of covered it up. Right? Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to get a Kleenex, because even though you're kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of bubbling on that white part. So it's going to be sitting up on top of the embossing, and you of course don't want that on your fingers. You don't want that on the white of your card. You know. So take a Kleenex and kind of just rub it. Take it off. And it's going to actually be colored underneath in the spaces where the paper was. If that makes sense. Okay, now I totally forgot a crucial part. I forgot the mountains in the background. Silly me. All right, so we're going to use that mountain stamp set, this mountain stamp that we used before, and flip it over so that it's just the solid image. So another person I'm going to make one of these cards for, she's actually one of my team members, and I feel so horrible for her. She started running classes and was had goals for herself to, do so many classes, and she's doing awesome. Well, the poor woman's now got carpal tunnel, and she's hurt her neck from looking down and crafting, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I feel horrible. So she comes to the mountains sometimes to visit me, and she loves the mountains too. So I thought, okay, this will be a little way that I can send the mountains to her and hopefully brighten her day. Okay, so the solid side, here we go. I'm just going to put it a little bit higher up than those mountains we did with the embossing powder. There again, this really works better if you have a foam mat, one of those paper piercing mats, because it is such a solid stamp. It just works better. Okay, so there's my full-on Seaside spray, the background. I'm going to rub that ink off again because of course it's onto that embossing part. I like though how it fills in these little gaps in the mountains and makes it look kind of cool. Now I want one more layer in the background, but of course a little bit lighter, right? So you could, normally you can re-stamp without re-inking, right? However, because you've inked here, there's still ink on this portion of the stamp. So if you move it over a little bit, it's going to get a line in it. If you like the line, go for the line. And it's also going to be a little bit darker because it hasn't been used. So what I just found was easiest, just re-ink the stamp. By the way, when you ink this long stamp, it creates lines as well because the ink pad is only so big, right? And so where the ink pad kind of finishes, there tends to be a line. So what I've been doing to help with that is I kind of put the stamp to it on an angle, and that way if there's a line, it kind of ends up looking like the slant of the mountain. I don't know. Been working for me. That's what I think. All right, so I'm gonna stamp this on my grid paper just to get one of those layers of ink off. Like so. And then I'm going to go in now and stamp just a little higher in the mountains there. Try not to make a pattern, meaning don't stamp exactly where you stamped on the stamp before. Doesn't make sense. Don't when you raise your stamp up, kind of move it over a little bit so you get more little mountain ranges, if that makes sense. Okay, here we go. I think I like that. Of course, this one's just going to be a little faint one in the background. There. Isn't that neat? Looks like home. Although the last few days it's been pretty cloudy. So some days you don't see the mountains here at all, which is kind of a little bit of a bummer. All right, I'm just going to wipe these mountains off one more time just to make sure I didn't get any residue. And I'm going to wipe this part off as well, just in case. Now, I've used my stitched stitch nested label die that I'm going to kind of use as a frame over top of it. And I just want to make sure that there's enough blue there that it's not going to show a little bit of white. If it does, it's no big deal, but you know what? I kind of want to, let's add some of those little birds. They're kind of cute. They're just a little something, right? So the decisions will be who gets which card. Because after this, I'm going to show you one more card. I'm normally only going to show one. I just couldn't stop today. So, all right. Here are these little birds. I'm only going to do one set. That's all I'm going to do. Just adds a little something, hey? Just loosens up the sky. Just makes it kind of, oh yeah, that's sky. Okay, back to this. Let's get our card base, and we're going to glue this little piece to the card base. Oh, we're out of glue. So I'm curious, you have this gift as well of making cards. If you were to make a card today, who would you give your card to? How could you make a difference today? How could you make a difference in either yourself, your life, or somebody else's? I want to hear. Chit chat. So I'm giving out 2 cards to those people that I mentioned today. That's going to be what I do to kind of make today a little bit meaningful. My little way of making a difference. All right, I'm popping this layer up, by the way. I will show you the card that I had already made, and I didn't pop up this layer, so we'll kind of see which do we prefer, which do we like better. Okay. So there's our little border. Isn't that kind of neat? Now for a saying, of course the Mountain Air bundle doesn't come with any sayings. It's just cool landscape. And so for this one I found hope you're feeling better from the Itty Bitty Greetings. So I'm going to use that as my little saying. I think I'm going to use Night of Navy just because it's a little more, I want to make sure she's able to read this, right? I think it's just grounded with the Night of Navy here to ground the whole scene, and this to make sure that the saying shows up. Hope you're feeling better. So this one is going to go to my team member. And let's get out some scissors here. We could, hey, how about I use my little mini Stampin' Trimmer works good for these kinds of things. And of course, you can get your hands on one of these by getting your starter kit, which you can only get this for 2 more days, today and tomorrow, by the way. So if you are interested, you need to contact me soon. But yes, it's great for these little projects. Trimming up your sentiments. Great for traveling. A little something. I was going to say carry in your purse, but don't do that. That's a little out there. Okay, I'm going to do the Lisa Harden cut. So just like on an angle and on an angle in the same direction, parallel. And let's put it, yeah, I think over here, the bottom right. So because this section's already popped up, I'm only going to put a dimensional on the left-hand side here. And I'm just going to use snail tape on the right-hand side. Like so. Hope you're feeling better. All right, so I'm going to decorate the inside and the envelope because, you know, that's me, right? And I will post pictures on my blog. But, you know, the reason why I wanted to share one more card was because I cut this piece out, right? I can't let that go to waste. So let's make a quick card using that other section. And of course, this beautiful stamp set. And this will be for the lady that is going through a rough time right now. Let's make kind of a layered stamping. So the way we did that, here's that blue section that I took out of here. It's going to become a little frame that I use behind this Whisper White layer. So first off, I'm just going to put a tiniest little bit of snail. Yeah, tiniest bit of snail. And let's place this off to the left-hand side onto that other piece of Whisper White. Now this is going to seem weird. I know. Just, it was kind of funny when I was doing my in-person class with these cards, and they're like, "Are you sure you're supposed to do that?" I'm like, yeah, for sure. It was so cute. But yeah, I've done this once or twice. I've been wrong before, but trust me on this. All right, so I'm going to get out these little trees. Now I kind of want to, well, I'm wondering about the back side of the shadows. I've never used them before. How about, no, let's go with the kind of the textured side of these trees. And I'm going to use Night of Navy for the trees. We're not going to go traditional. I'm not going to go green. Let's just go Night of Navy. And I'm just going to start stamping kind of all the way across in a row. So if you were a part of the online card class of Mountain Air, you will have seen me make this card in different colors, different kind of way. See how there's this big gap here? It's okay. Because remember that frame that we are going to put behind? It's going to cover it all up. And if it doesn't, I have tricks. So I'm just going to stamp another one, kind of a little off. I'm leaving little gaps in between those trees, by the way. See? Don't worry. No worries. And let's go another one here. Like so. Okay, now where's my Simply Chamois? Clean that off. I'm thinking, let's go in with the other side now and kind of make a little shadow. And if we don't like it, if it's not doing it for me, I have a way that maybe we'll change it up a little. Okay, I want this to be a lighter layer though than these trees, so I'm going to actually stamp off first. And then go in with this one. It's okay. I think I'm going to cover it a little. Here's another one. I'm going to ink it off, stamp off a little bit, and put it in between that layer. And because I haven't, well, no, let's just make it all the same. I was going to re-stamp because it wouldn't have a line in it because it was in the center of a paper. It wasn't hanging off of anything, but I'm just going to keep it all the same. So how was everybody's weekend? Quiet? I finally had some time to plant up our plants. We have a greenhouse that opened here. One of my other loves is planting and gardening and flowers and looking for different fun things like that. Okay, there's this little tree. The individual tree. I think I'm going to stamp that in between just to kind of fill that shadow a little. So it looks pretty prominent, maybe not so much as I didn't want it quite that much. So maybe even if you stamped off twice, there, that makes it look a little more backgroundy. Okay, you can of course go in and put little bits in here, there, and everywhere. Just as little. First, try to make them different heights, right? that's the trick. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. So now we're gonna take off this little layer. I try to turn it. Okay, maybe not. There we go. And let's mount it onto this layer. So it's going to need a little more glue than what we had from before. Like so. And this is going to get put down here. Now if you're, oh sheesh, I'm getting, must have ink on my fingers. I've got my full fingerprint. Maybe that's a great place for some ribbon. Oh. Okay. Clean my fingers off with those baby wipes. Okay, let's put some ribbon there. How about, I had some cut. Where did I put it? Here. Some Seaside spray that'll tie in with that piece. And I'm going to use tear and tape. To me, it just makes putting on a ribbon nice and easy. The little press. I'm so excited to go back and read who you're sending, maybe, or how you're going to make a difference today. Whether it's, when you're at the grocery store, you're going to smile at 2 people, or make a goal for yourself. How are you going to make a difference? Or how are you going to make today great? I'm gonna finish my goal of cleaning the fridge, or, you know, who knows? Give today some purpose. Okay, covered up my fingerprint just perfectly. Fantastic. Now I'm going to put this layer over top. Let's pop that up. Yeah, let's go a few more dimensionals. Why not, right? That's enough. It'll be stuck for a long time. Placing this over top, just kind of being mindful of where kind of the tree bottoms are ending up. Now, as I said kind of before, if you ended up with some big gaps here that didn't quite get covered up by this border, go in with the blender pen and just color in those gaps with the Night of Navy. And really, it should be a small enough gap that it's not really going to show that much. So here we go. Really liking that color. And lastly, one of the dies that comes with this bundle is this tree. And it's so detailed. Let me show you on the back here. Isn't that nice? Isn't it gorgeous? Like that alone with just a watercolor wash in the background would be so beautiful. It's just easy. Okay, but I'm gonna put some snail because I'm lazy that way. Some people like to put some glue on a sponge. Some people use little glue dots and just kind of roll them up and place them strategically. Some people use the liquid glue and just put little dots of liquid glue. I just go in with snail. And if there's bits and pieces that are kind of shiny and shimmery and hanging out and whatnot, you can always go back in later with a white eraser and just kind of clean that up a little bit. It'll take that off. Okay, so now for this saying. What I was thinking of you from Woven Threads. I love that font, and it's just beautiful. Now I'm wondering, there's kind of this big gap up here. It could probably fit right there. Do I want it there? I don't know. So I'm going to get a little piece of scrap paper. Let's go Night of Navy again. Let's stick with, I could do, yeah, let's do Night of Navy. It's just so pretty. So let's see, we could do it, you know. Oh, this guy pop off again. Let me add a little more glue. It'll get covered up when we glue it down to the card base too. It almost gets better down at the bottom, I think, as opposed to, say, sitting in there. Well. I mean, we could put some birds here, right? Yeah, let's put some birds. I think I'm going to do the birds. Should we do in gray granite? That might tie in some of that brown. Or the soft suede. Not soft suede. Seaside spray. Too many S's. Yeah, maybe one more. Although then you have to do threes. Yeah, let's do it. There. And of course this I'm going to trim down just a tad because lopsided for one. I could fussy cut it out. I know you all love fussy cutting. But I will just use this trimmer, the mini trimmer, and get it done. I think I'm going to use, sorry, I'm placing this on my card base. I'm just thinking here. I think I'm going to just do a ribbon cut here. So it's a little bit long. Just chop some of it off. So the way I do ribbon cuts, of course, is straight up the center, from the edge to that top of the center. I flip it around from the edge to the top of that center. Just makes it nice and even. Oh, it's almost, is it too big? Nah. Okay, so this layer's already popped up. So I'm going to use one dimensional on the back of thinking, but on you I'm going to need to do two. So that it's all nice and flat. You don't really want super duper layered, crooked. Landslide in the mountains here. I could have probably stamped in gray granite, just light, just that mountain in the background. That might have been pretty too. Okay, here we go. Just putting this layer over top. Thinking of you. And there, when we tie it all together, there we go. Let's glue it all up. I always like to put some glue over top of those pieces of ribbon just to help keep them down. Lots of bumps to go over. All right, I think that's good to go. It's kind of confusing with all these trees in the background, isn't it? But there we go. Is that even straight? I hope so. If not, I'm getting out. I will move it. The trees could be just tricking my eye in the background. All right, so here are the two cards that I made today using this wonderful bundle. Of course, they are going out to the two people that I mentioned today. The reason why I'm going to do this today, not just for making pretty cards and hoarding. We got to give it away. Bless others with our talents. So if this bundle interests you, let me show you the, okay, switch, change, different. This bundle is right here. There's a close-up of the stamp set. And so lots of fun items here that you can play with. And here are the dies that coordinate with it. So that's the number for the bundle, by the way. So all sorts of fun dies. There's those trees. They actually give you two of those trees so that if you're kind of creating a forest, you can run through two trees at a time. So it goes much quicker. They thought of that, which was wonderful. Or, of course, the cheapest way to get this set is to buy the bundle. And, of course, you get 10% off because it's a bundle price since you're getting the stamp set and the dies to go with it. So, best deal, of course. And, of course, there's 2 more days left of Celebration, which means that every time you spend $60, you get to pick an item from the Celebration catalog for free. So I don't know about you, but I'm in love with Ray. And so I will be placing one last order. By the way, thank you to those ladies who helped get me to my Stampin' Up! Goal. Oh my goodness, you made me tear up. Good tears, but I am so grateful for you guys. And So thank you so much for helping me reach that goal. I'm so excited. So if that bundle or any other things interest you, contact me. Lastly, if you have not seen on my Facebook page yet, I have the Mail It Out Monday challenge. So every Monday, you pick a number between 1 and 10. And if your number is chosen, I'm going to send you a handmade card in the mail. It's one of my things I love to do. So there you go. If you just flip back before I started the video on Facebook. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can go to Artsy Fartsy Gallery on Facebook and you will find the page and be able to pick your number. Other than that, thanks everybody for making my Monday marvelous. And tomorrow is going to be, I'm going to be focusing a lot on my team members. So if you want to learn how to become a team member, contact me and I will help you out with that. But I'm going to tomorrow give you a challenge Tuesday. Me and my alliteration, I tell you. Tomorrow's going to be a template Tuesday, kind of a layout idea. So you can use this layout with any sort of product or items from your home. I'm going to use the layout and create a card with the Mountain Air bundle and using that layout. Other than that, if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, make sure you get on that because there's going to be a special if you are in my newsletter. Just saying. All right. Thank you, everybody. It's been a blast. See you tomorrow. Bye.